The magnitude of Commissioner Gentle's apparent conflict of interest exceeds the standard of a possible appearance of a conflict of interest outlined in the county's governing ethics regulations and his own standard as articulated to the Newport Minor last February.
Okay, let's stop it there for the interest of time so Monty gets a chance here. This is available. We can send it out to the membership on the link if you want to see or watch through it again. So we'll send that out tomorrow. To everybody, but in the interest of time, I got 15 more minutes, and I want to let Monty have a chance to share not only what's going on in Bitmain, but I think he shared also earlier with me. There's a tremendous opportunity now for us here with regards to the fact that this FTX was a real bad player, and it's one of those the industry says good to see them exposed and gone. So, thank you. All right, so the floor is yours. Thank you, Monty, for being so patient.
Yeah, my name is Monty Stahl. It's a little weird to hear like an alternate version of my career. Some of the stuff up there is correct, and some of it is incorrect, and most importantly, the timeline's incorrect. So it is also strange to see, like, a small business that I started in this county become like something that's interesting to the Republican Party. I'm actually really proud of the small business that I started. So, like, lightning quick biography. I try to make it fast or funny, but it'll all be true this time. So, raised in Colville, North County. College, Arizona. Off to the Air Force, 12 years active duty, combat rescue, and special operations air assault. And then that leads me to 2017. 12 years of active duty. When you sign up to be a pilot, you sign up for 10 years. It takes 2 years to get your wings. So Uncle Sam got their money out of me. They treated me very well. And they did a cool thing called Boots to Business, where the SBA helps you write a little business plan because they don't want you to be a homeless vet. So I've succeeded in not being a homeless vet, and I've actually been very fortunate. But I did a small business plan, and basically I called it a mom and pop data center. I host computers. So not here to sell anybody in cryptocurrency. I'm fascinated by it. You probably shouldn't invest in it unless you have a cast iron stomach. And, I've been in it since it was $10, and now it's, 16, 17 grand. So it's been a wild ride. But I like the technology. I'm a geek. The business on Telephone Road, I purchased it. I purchased, you're correct, $169,000 for Silver City Lumber Yard. I don't know if you see my site there. It was my site. So Silver City Lumber sold it to me, and I had a business plan. I actually brought my business plan. I'm not going to, if anyone wants to come talk to me afterwards, I'll stay as late as you want. I'll show you my business plan. I'll show you what I did. But that is where I met Kim. So I came here, and the primary raw material for my business is energy. So I sat down with Pondre PUD, and across the table from me was a very smart energy industry professional named Kim Gentle. And so I had my business plan, and the cost of power was important to that. And so I grew my business. I ran out of money halfway through it, but I'm a reservist, so I went back to my unit in Germany. I know it's really tough duty, but someone's got to serve in Germany. And so I finished my small business, half between here and half between Germany. I've been in the crypto industry since 2012, so I network with the businesses that are growing in this industry. So let's just fast forward. The business was a success through blood, sweat, and tears. My wife's retirement savings bought the transformer. I was down to $500 in my personal checking account. And at one point in time, my parents drove down from Colville with a $1,500 check and a bag of potatoes because I didn't have enough money for groceries. So I went all in because I had high conviction on the market. But it worked out very well for me. So I had 6 customers in my data center. I had 1,100 seats on the rack, so 1,100 computers, and I would charge to keep those computers online. One of my customers in 2019 was a company called All Rise Capital. They're one of my 6 customers, and I worked really hard for their account, worked my tail off for that. In the fall of 2020, the price of Bitcoin and digital currency was going up, and it was time for me to take an exit. Just the business model was going well, and so I did sell my site. Let's just talk about the business. In the year 2020, I did $300,000 in taxable income. And I paid D&O taxes on that. I worked in the government my whole career, so I know how to do paperwork. I did a conditional use permit, business occupancy certificate for a commercial building, commercial fire alarm like I did. I do all my paperwork. So $300,000 in revenue, second year of my business. So pretty proud of my business plan that I did from SBA. If you evaluate a business by how much EBITDA you do, you can do that on a multiple, right? And so I actually probably should have asked for about $2 million for my site, but when I put it up for sale, my customer was no longer going to be able to post their computers there. Like I was like, your contract's over, I'm selling this. Anybody want to buy it? They wanted to buy it because their computers were making a lot of money. So I sold it for $1.75 million. That night, I sat down with my wife. I paid off my student loans for the first time. I paid her back for her retirement savings. I paid my brother back. I paid my parents back. It's really cool to have a business plan in place, and I'm really proud of that. So that's 2020, right? January 2020, the site was for sale. I completed the sale on April 15th. You can look in the tax records when it closed. But the wire hit, the check cleared. While they were up, the new owners who just wrote me a check for $1.75 million, I'm like, well, I'll give you a tour how to turn it on, how to run it. Here you go. It's yours now. And I'm sitting there by the transformer down there at Telephone Road, and I said, hey guys, I got a little upsell for you. There's going to be an auction up the road. It's called Ponderay Newsprint. And if you guys can throw down $1.75 million for this site, you should check out the site that's for sale up the road. It's been for sale for about a year. At $11.5 million, no one's bought it yet. Go check it out. These guys do special situations. They're a venture capital company based out of California. They know their way around a bankruptcy auction. So after I closed my sale, within like a week and a half, they had registered with the bankruptcy trustee. That's the first time I met Todd Barron, who's the general manager down there. And they won the auction. And so, good for them. At that point, I had no business relationship with them other than I had, oh, by the way, if you ever meet the realtor who had that thing listed for sale, he owes me a case of beer. Because I never talked to him the whole time I made that sale for him. So I would like a little bit of commission, but I'll settle for a case of beer. All right, so at that point in time, I am not an employee of All Rights Capital. I am someone who sold them a business here in Ponderay County. And I paid all my debts for the first time in my life, including my student loans. And my wife's like, what are you going to do? And I did receive a job offer from them at that time, but I kind of didn't really want to work for them. I didn't know them that well, and I had other offers. So while I was in Germany with my reserve job, I also networked with another industry player called Northern Data. My unit is in Stuttgart. Northern Data is based in Frankfurt. And so they had just, at the very same time, they had just completed that sale of Riot Windstone site, $651 million. And with that M&A transaction, everyone in North America had gone with that sale. Their whole ops team from North America had gone with that sale. And I got a really good job offer from Arush, who's the CEO of Northern Data. He said, Monty, you are a graduated Bitcoin miner. You know this industry. He has a pile of cash. He has no ground game in North America. And so he made me a good job offer, and I became an executive at Northern Data. I was a contractor for the month of May, and then I was an employee for the month of June. And one of the first things I did as an employee, I was like, hey, by the way, I just sold like a site that has a 275 megawatt substation. You guys should check it out. So literally 3 weeks into the job, wearing my Northern Data hat, I brought some engineers from Northern Data. They toured the site. Kim Gentle was not part of the picture at this point in time. She was someone that I knew. She was not an employee at Northern Data when I toured the site wearing my Northern Data hat. Northern Data and All Rights Capital, soon to be Merkle Standard, did not come to terms. They actually became competitors. So I moved on. I did 300,000 air miles between May of 21 and March of 22. And I've got a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old. And those sites, Quebec, Oklahoma, you mentioned Nebraska, I don't know. You missed North Dakota. I did go to Georgia. You missed New York and Pennsylvania. I'm not where the money, Indiana's after my time. So, so I was vetting sites, and it was a really exciting time in my career. So I have a massive war chest of capital, and I have a direction from my CEO to rebuild their ground game in North America. And I was employee number 2 for Northern Data after that sale. So they hired an attorney to turn the lights on and set up the operating entities, and then they hired me. And I hit the road, and my job was to grow Northern Data. In the fall of 2021, as I'm growing, we're starting to get an energy portfolio. And who do I know in the energy industry? I know Kim Gentle. So I recruit Kim Gentle to come work for Northern Data. I think I hired her in either September or October, I can't remember. September or October. So that was after I toured this site wearing my Northern Data hat. Kim is brilliant. She is a brilliant energy industry professional. And she helped me negotiate a 250 megawatt site in Oklahoma that actually could go much higher than 250 megawatts. I had the governor's office chasing me. And, I still get calls from energy brokers chasing me from that time. It's kind of nice to actually have a county and a municipality want my business. But Kim was brilliant right from the start. The crypto industry, we're good at running computers, but they're not very good at managing energy. And so my highest recommendation of Kim, and we did not have any business while I was in Northern Data in Ponderay County. So there's pretty clean lines. The only connection between Northern Data and Merkle Standard is me. It's my career path, and it's the timing. So we need to whiteboard this all the times, and we sit down together. I've invited you to the site 3 times now. Maybe the 4th time will be a charm. Let's sit down and whiteboard Monty's career, Monty's hire of Kim, when is Monty working for All Rights Capital, and when is Monty working for Northern Data? And you will see that there's clear delineation. So at no time when I was working for Northern Data did we enter into a business relationship or a deal with Bitmain or with anyone here in Ponderay County. So Kim was very clean delineation that business in Ponderay County. She's also a port commissioner. Ponderay County is fenced off from her while I was at Northern Data. In March of this year, after not seeing my kids, I am a diamond medallion on Delta Airlines. And I'm not proud of that, because that means that's a lot of time away from my 2-year-old and my 5-year-old. That's a lot of, I missed bedtime tonight to come here to hear the alternate story of my career. But I really do want to meet my kids every night and read them a story, put them to bed, my 2-year-old and my 5-year-old. So in March of this year, after tearing all over the continent, back to Europe multiple times, I got a job offer again from Ruslan Zinarov at All Rights Capital. Say, this was your idea. I want you to come and finish this job. So I resigned as an executive at Northern Data, and on March 1st of this year, I became an executive at Merkle Standard. And that put Northern Data, just talking privately here, that put Northern Data into that was a bit of a crisis for them. I built a team there, and then I abandoned them. And I consider myself a Northern Data alumni. I have a lot of respect for Roosh, but there's some broken glass there in that relationship because, I built a machine and then I left it. And there's something else about Northern Data. I came in post-Windstone. And as I understand, Windstone was a subsidiary that worked with Northern Bitcoin to become Northern Data. And it's very likely that quote from Matthias about Bitmain is correct, but that's 2019, it's before 2021. In my time as employee number 2 at Northern Data, and to my knowledge, to this date, Northern Data has a relationship with a company called MicroBT and their sub-brand WhatsMiner. MicroBT and Bitmain are like the Ford versus Chevy of the computing world. They are bitter competitors. So I basically went from a company that worked with MicroBT, Northern Data, to Merkle Standard, who has a strategic supply chain relationship with Bitmain. If you're going to be in this business, you're going to work with one of those 2 companies. You need to have a strategic supply chain relationship. So they are bitter competitors. So it's kind of ironic that you are trying to tie Bitmain as the single link when if you are actually did the due diligence and you dug into Northern Data's financials and and you look at the picture of the computers on their rack, you would notice that they're micro BT computers, which is a bitter competitor to Bitmain. So I've run my mouth. I really don't like the sound of my own voice. It's kind of annoying, but I'm sure you're annoyed by it now. Respectful time. I'm open for questions.